wrong, let's say. Do you see the difference between what when I asked you what it was and you said what you said and I said what it is and then I explained it? So like if I'm talking to my child now, I'm saying it's a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that create, change, and control your experience. Then I go further into that. What does that mean? It's like, okay, well, it's almost like a plumber with your tools. Mindset is the plumber. The thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and the things that control your experience are like my tools. These are things that I'm going to create something if I'm installing it. I'm going to change something if something is broken or not working properly, right? I'm going to control something. Maybe I need to turn the water pressure up or turn it down, right? But as a result of everything I use my tools with, that is what my experience is. That's what I'm experiencing now, is the outcome of my ability in this interaction with something. Your mindset is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that create your experience, change your experience, control your experience, what you call your human experience. That's what your mindset does. To Monique's point, this dictates how you do what you do. Now, if this is true, what does mindset affect?
Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
What does mindset affect?
Your experience.
Everything.
Everything. Everything. That's why I say most people, when they are talking about it, when they're telling somebody what it is, they don't know. Most people don't know. And when most people are listening, they don't get it. Because people talk about mindset like it's a side dish, like it's something that you can turn on or turn off, or like it's something you can apply to this area, but not apply to that area. People talk about mindset like it's a choice, meaning it is a choice what thoughts you choose, what feelings, what beliefs, those are. But the fact that you have thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are not a choice. Which ones you have are a choice. The fact that you have them are not. You're going to have one or the other, something or something else. So mindset then is not voluntary. This is not a voluntary concept. It's not a voluntary thing. That's one of the reasons I can tell that most people don't know what it is, because they talk about it like it's a side dish or an add-on, or like they can choose to have it or not, or choose when or where it applies, when it applies or not. And you cannot do that, because everything comes out of that. Your mindset is basically the tools that you're working with in your mind, in your brain. It's the tools that your brain is using, coming from your awareness. So like your awareness is the plumber. Your awareness, the plumber decides which tools to use to create, control, or change the situation that they find themselves in. The awareness does that. The plumber does not. The plumber doesn't. Right? The plumber chooses the tools. The tools don't choose themselves. The feelings don't choose themselves. The thoughts don't choose themselves. The beliefs don't choose themselves. You as awareness choose that. You're the plumber. So when you're in a situation, or an experience called life, you now, based on your awareness, choose the tools. You choose the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you are using to create, control, or change the experience that you find yourself in. Your tools can't help you if you don't know how to use them, or you don't know which ones to use. Your thoughts can't help you. Your beliefs can't help you. Your feelings can't help you if you don't know which ones to choose. And you choose based on your awareness. What you know, what you're aware of being, what you're aware of having, what you know. That's what I was talking about last week when I was talking about information. We're not getting enough information, or the correct information, to actually know, one, that you are the plumber, right? Metaphorically, that you are the plumber, and how to use your tools. So if I say, Mom, what is this tool right here? Oh, that's a wrench. That's great. Well, how do you use it? It's a wrench. Well, I already know what it is, but how do you use it? Oh, it's just a wrench. You just kind of do that with it. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm not a plumber. I don't know what that means. So I'm asking a plumber to tell me what this tool is and how to use it and what you use it for. That is the level of information that you need to have for everything. What is it? How do you use it? And what do you use it for? When do you use it? Why not this instead of that? Right? Why not a wrench? Why not a screwdriver? Why not a hammer? Why this instead of that? It's not that you have to know everything to get your desired outcome, but you have to know enough. And a lot of times it's not that we don't know things, it's that we don't either know them or we don't know enough. So we're stuck with these broad terms: accountability, responsibility, discipline, mindset, all these different things. And they're these big, broad, vague, ambiguous terms that nobody actually can hone in on to really describe them, define them, and have an understanding of, do I even know, A, what this means, B, how to apply it, C, am I applying it, D, do my results tell me that I actually know what I think I know? Right? So your mindset, again, this is my definition of it, but it's enough to be more clear than what you have, right? It is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that create, change, and control your experience. Your mindset, let's just say metaphorically, is the plumber. Your mindset is the plumber. This is the thing in control. All of these, the collection of things that you have are basically, these are your tools or your toolkit. These are the things that this thing uses to have the experience. Ta-da, I'm done. Or ta-da, I installed it. Or ta-da, I fixed it. And when a plumber knows how to do that and they fix your sink, aren't you happy in the end? Didn't you get what you wanted? So that only comes by calling the right person, the plumber, and them bringing their tools and their toolkit and them knowing how to use them. Them knowing how to use that. And then, ta-da, you're happy. So your experience, this experience right here, is the outcome of these two things. One, the plumber, two, the tools and the toolkit. Did you call the right person, and do they have the right tools and toolkit, and do they know how to use them? The plumber, one, tools, two, three, knowledge, let's just say, of how to use the tools in their toolkit. 1, 2, 3. That's the Holy Trinity. 1, 2, 3. Your awareness of who you are, your tools, knowing what those are, your tools in your toolkit, your thoughts, your feelings, and beliefs that create, change, and control your experience, your tools in your toolkit, and 3, how to use those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to create, change, and control your experience. That's what a mindset is. Now you're clear. You can modify it any way you want, put the words you want into it, but this is what it is. When you know something, you should be able to explain it. And explain it to someone who is depending on you and relying on you. Explain it in a way where someone who is depending and relying on you to be able to take that and say, oh, okay, I know what that is and I know how to use it. I know where I stand with this thing. Oh, okay. If it's wow. If a plumber is talking, if Leanne is the plumber and she's talking to me as her son and she says she's the plumber, she already knows what the wrench does, but I don't. So if she wants me to know what she knows, she has to explain it to me in a way that I can understand it the way she understands it. Because otherwise I cannot reproduce what she produces. I cannot do again what she already does. So I'm relying upon her, right, to do that. So these are mindset, your collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that are creating, changing, and controlling your life, your experience. This is not optional. This is not voluntary. This is not something like you can do or not do, kind of do it when you're ready. Oh, I'm going to put my mindset on it. This is not that. This is life. This is how things are going. This is what you're using to create the experience you have, to change it or control it. This is not something to get around to when you feel like it, or when you get ready, or now that you're really in big trouble, or if you really want something for real now. This is not something to like, okay, I'm going to use this so I can win the lottery. This isn't like a one-off. This isn't that. This is life. This is how your experience is being governed and guided, dictated, and directed. It's via your mindset. Your mindset is the plumber, right? That puts all the tools in its bag. So the plumber is awareness. It is the one that says, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I need to make sure I have my tools. So now the plumber brings their tools in their toolkit. The tools are all these thoughts and feelings and beliefs that create, control your experience. Those thoughts are your tools. The toolkit is your brain. That's your brain is. It's the toolkit. It is the receptacle that you put all of these things in that you are going to work with, that you're working with to create, control, and change your experience. So it is your awareness plus your tools plus the toolkit that are holding your tools. Then you show up on the scene and you, with knowledge, you take the product out of the bag or whatever you have it in, and you now start applying it to the situation. A wrench or a socket wrench or a screwdriver or whatever you have. But all that is dictated. What to use, when to use it is dictated by the plumber, by your awareness. Your awareness is in charge of the whole experience. And your toolkit is your brain that you put your tools, thoughts, feelings, beliefs in. And how you use them, you are using them to create, change, and control your experience. You're putting in the sink, you're taking out the sink, you're fixing the toilet, you're installing the toilet, right? It is how you are interacting with something to create, change, or control an experience. That's what your mindset is. So when you understand that this is what you're doing, when you understand this, then you understand, well, there is no turning this on or turning it off. There's no time or no thing that this doesn't apply to, which means then there's no time or no thing you're not applying it. So then the question becomes what? So if that's true, that there is no time or no thing, there is no time that you're not using it, there is no thing that you're not using it with, what does the question become? What question then comes up?
What am I doing exactly?
What does that mean?
I don't know. What am I doing with that time? No time and no thing. What am I doing with it?
Okay. This is good.
Or am I using it wisely, I guess?
How am I using it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Are you doing this consciously or what?
Unconsciously.
Or unconsciously. But whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, you are
doing it.
You're doing it. You're still doing it. So the only difference is whether you're doing it, as LaToya likes to say, on purpose, that's consciously, or not on purpose, not unaware, thinking that mindset is just an accessory, like it's mustard or ketchup, like it's something you can apply if you like or if you don't. I don't really want to. I'm going to live, but I don't really want to do the mindset thing. Mindset is just a word. It's just a word. But you have to understand what it actually is. Whether you forget the word doesn't matter. You have to understand that you are either living consciously or unconsciously. You're either living on purpose or you're living with a lack of purpose. You're living unaware or you're living aware. Those produce two different things. They produce two different outcomes. They're literally like this. They both exist and they both are going somewhere, but they're not going to the same place. Right? So you have to understand that every day you are living with a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. The plumber, you are the plumber. You are living you are living with your tools every day. That's what you do for a living. You're living with these tools every single day. And you're holding those tools in your toolkit, in your brain. Your brain is the receptacle that you put your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in, your tools. And now you're out living every day on the job. If you don't fix that thing right, you don't get paid. If you don't fix that thing right, you probably won't be called back. If you don't fix it right well enough where you broke it then you might get sued. All of this is on you as the plumber. All of it. So every day you are the plumber with your tools in your toolkit going out, and the experience you're going to have is based on your knowledge. How much are you aware of who you are, of what your options are in your brain? How much of that awareness do you hold? Are you possessing? Do you possess? The outcome of that is called experience. You can call this whatever you want. Don't even call it mindset. Just cross it off, because most people don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they just mess it up and mess you up. Forget the name. Forget the word. Understand the concept that every day you're the plumber. Every day you are waking up with a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you then act out to either create, change, or control. Your thoughts, your feelings, and beliefs, you use those things to create, change, and control your experience. This is what you're using to create what humanity calls reality. This is what you're using to do it. Your experience is the outcome of your knowledge. How well do you know yourself as the plumber? As the plumber, what's another way to say the plumber?
I am.
Essentially, I am what?
Monique.
What do people like to say in this area of mindset or a positive thinking? What do they say? They say, what?
I'm a manifester.
Okay, what else do they say?
Alchemist.
Okay, is that what people say?
No,
Right.
That's what we say.
Alchemist is.
I am like trying, or I'm working on.
No, but that's not what they say. You know, when we get in these groups, we don't say what we really think. We say what the group likes to hear. Right? So they can clap you up, dap you up, be like, oh, yeah, girl, yeah, you're on fire. Ooh, what do you got?
They'll probably say, like, I am this, or I am.
Say that is. What do they say? I am what? In this genre that we're talking about, what do people say? They'll say, I am, or a lot of times people say, you are. They say, you are the what? You are the
source?
Is that what they say?
Maybe.
The shit.
No.
You are the plumber.
I am, or you are the creator of your reality. You know you're the creator of your reality, right?
Yay!
Get the spirit thing, get the clapping and snapping and popping going. Yeah, go ahead. Get a little confetti going. Get all the little memes you guys do up there. Get all of it up there. There you go. Let it fly on the screen. Put it in the chat. Oh, you know how they do. If you know what they're saying, put one in the chat. You know how they do it, the whole thing. And everybody putting the one in the chat don't know what the hell they're even talking about. Can't even describe what a mindset is or define it. Can't explain it to their child who's literally asking them what it is because they want to get a shot at it. They want to get a piece of the crown. And it's where your mind lives. What in the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Well, where does your mind live? Is it here? Where is it? Is it in California? Where is it? I don't know what that means as a 10-year-old. I don't know what that means as an adult. So they'll tell you you're the creator of your reality. But it's true. The plumber is the creator of their experience based on their awareness of being that, a plumber, which is why they're out on the call in the first place. They didn't call an electrician. They called a plumber. So they're a plumber, and they say, okay, let me grab my tools. So you are I am. Let me grab my tools, my thoughts, my feelings, and my beliefs. Those are my tools. And I put them in my bag or whatever it is. That is my toolkit. That's my brain. That's my brain. When you're trying to remember something, right? So that is where I'm holding it. Because I'm remembering when I go back in my toolkits, I'm going to get what I put in there. I'm going to bring the wrench out. I'm going to bring the screwdriver. I'm going to get what I put in. That's my toolkit, is my brain. Then my knowledge, I use my knowledge to create, change, or control the situation I'm walking into. Right? That then leads me to ultimately my experience, the outcome. Is everybody following? Is everybody understanding? So then, if you know you are the plumber and somebody calls you and you decide I don't want to go to that job. I don't want to go on that call. What happens? What happens after that? So you're a plumber. Somebody calls you. Hey, I'm calling. So let's see here. So I'm calling James. So James is a plumber. So I'm like, hey James, I found you on the internet. Man, my sink is leaking. Can you come out? James is like, man, I can't make it for whatever reason. I don't want to, don't feel like it. I'm doing something else, whatever else it is, let's say. What happens after that? What happens after that call?
He lost the customer and he's no longer dependable.
Well, it depends on why he's not going, right?
Wait.
But that is an option. That's a possibility, right?
Depending on the situation is the outcome of that's how that customer is going to feel.
Well, go ahead.
I said, like, depending on his situation, meaning like if he was like, oh, I'm working on somebody else's stuff and it's going to take me hours, then okay, that's just one thing. But then if it's like, oh, I just don't feel like going, then you'll lose that customer because it was a reason for him not to. Okay, so then the outcome of that experience, then, so who made that choice? The choice of not wanting to be the customer or not going to do the plumbing. You're the plumber. It was on James. It was on James. Okay, James. So it was on James. Okay. So then whatever happens as a result of that, who experiences that? James. James. So James made the choice, and James is going to have to deal with the experience or the outcome, right? Right. Okay. Well then, so who is James? I am, or I am. Yeah. Who is James on Tuesday? I am. Is it? No, the hell it not, man. You guys need to stop lying. Stop it. Not to stop it. No. You may go get tacos on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe. James. Okay. So all right. So I see your text. Jay. All right. Yeah. Can you talk?
I think it's Jacor. I don't know if they know you were speaking to them.
Yeah, or whoever. Who I just saw them come up.
I know. Yeah, you can't really see who it is very well.
All right. So no matter.
They put in the chat the customers have to call. They can't talk right now. They said the customer have to call another plumber.
Okay. No. What I'm saying to you is James made this choice, and James is going to experience the outcome of that choice. Who is James? Who is James on a Tuesday?
The creator?
Yes. Okay, so James is the creator, yes. But who is James on a Tuesday? Do you think James is walking around saying, I'm a creator?
No,
James.
James
On
James-
Tuesday, James is James on Tuesday. He forgot.
creative plumber.
Tuesday. Who is James on Tuesday? This is what I mean by most people don't know what it means. Who is James on Tuesday?
Same old James.
James is the collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That's what determined whether James did the job or not. What he was thinking, feeling, and believing. So he thought, like you said, okay, maybe I'm too busy. Or maybe he didn't feel like it. Or maybe he didn't believe it was important. Or maybe important. But James is the expression of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. James is just the body. It's just the name of the body. So when you say, yes, I am, that's true. But on Tuesday, it's James. That's the way we live our lives. So it's James. It's Leanne. So then who is that? What do I say? Anytime you're meeting a person, you're meeting what?
A representative.
You're
A
meeting
mind.
what?
A mind.
A mind. And a mind holds thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Does it not?
True.
That's what so the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold, that is what dictates the choice or the choices you make. So when you say, oh, I'm just too tired, I can't get up for work, and you got a mindset book, read right by your bed. Oh, I need motivation. Oh, most people don't know what a mindset is. Because if you did, you know yours is terrible. You know yours is mid and mediocre. It's mild. It's weak. But they, you just don't understand. You go through your whole life, you sound worse in an emergency room. You whine more than everybody in there just by yourself. That's your mindset. That lets me know what yours is. So when you have a business and you can't get your products to people on time, you have a business and it's mid, it's mild, it's mediocre. They ask you questions, you don't have an answer. They ask you questions and you're not this, or you're not that, or you don't have it. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's this. That's your mindset. You don't understand how it applies to your everyday life on Tuesday. That's who James is a walking mindset. It's a walking collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that he is using to create, control, or change his experience. So James chooses and James suffers or James prospers. James is suffering or prospering by his thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, the tools he uses in his toolkit. And whether he has knowledge or is knowledgeable enough to know what to use and when to use it. That's Tuesday. On here, this is wonderful. But this, I am trying, my intention is to make this feel like Tuesday now. So when Tuesday comes, it'll feel like this. You'll feel more empowered. You'll feel more inspired. You won't be walking around looking for motivation. You'll have inspiration. You'll be breathed from within. You'll be fired from within. You'll be self-governed and self-guided. If you're not self-governed and self-guided, you're not grown. You're just old. You're just old. You're not grown. You're not an adult. You're not mature. This is who James is. This is who Leanne is. This is who we all are. We are our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, meaning our experience. We are what we're using. We're not actually our thoughts, feelings, like literally, but these are the things that we're using to express ourselves. And we're using James, a body, a name of a body, to create. We're using that to physically express what we are choosing up here. Up here. This is where everything is happening. This is just where you see it. Everything is happening in here. Everything. When we read that paper 2 months ago now, that science paper from Dr. Bruce Lipton, talking about how genes control things and how your mind gives a signal to the genes to create this or create that or whatever else it is. When we read that 2 months ago, it's the things you don't see that are creating, controlling, and changing the thing you do see. But you only pay attention once you see it, because most people live unconsciously. They are the show, The Walking Dead. That's what most people are, The Walking Dead. But since most people are that, nobody thinks it's crazy because they all look crazy. So then it all looks normal. This is what it is. So when you can't wake up to get to work on time, when you can't stay later if you need to, when you can't do whatever you need to do to be who you want to be, you don't have a proper mindset. Your stuff is trash. Everybody telling you mindset, everybody talking about mindset, everybody pumping each other up, mindset, then everybody going to accountability. That's why most people don't know what accountability is, responsibility. They don't know what it is from the top, from the beginning. They don't know what it is. They don't know what a mindset is, so they don't know what responsibility is. They don't know what accountability is, because if you did, you would never try to hold somebody accountable for something that you know they couldn't be responsible for in the first place. That's why you don't give a baby a knife. How are you going to hold them accountable for stabbing themselves or someone else when you know they're not responsible enough to even hold the thing? Why would you do that? So when you're looking at somebody in your life and you're mad at them, are you mad because you're surprised, or are you mad because you shouldn't have done it in the first place? You shouldn't have given them that responsibility, or you should have given them better information before you gave them that responsibility. But you didn't do either, so now they're responsible because you told them to do it, and they did a horrible job, and you're mad that they did a horrible job, so you want to hold them accountable. But did you actually think about what you were doing with this person? Did you actually take into account whether they could actually do that or not? Like, really? We love to clutch our pearls and act surprised. When you're not surprised, you're just mad it didn't work out, but you're not really surprised. Oh, I can't believe. What do you mean you can't believe it, or you don't like it? Those are not the same thing. And we love to confuse the two, because we know what accountability would. We know what it means when it comes to us. Whoa, no, that's not my fault. Hold on, that's not me. Wait a minute. We know what it means when it comes to us, but we don't really know what it means enough to decide whether I should give this person the responsibility. Am I actually able to hold this person accountable? If I give them this, do they really have enough of everything they need to actually make this work? So people love to start with responsibility. They love to start with that. But really what you should start with is accountability. That's really what you should start with. You're saying, at the end of the day, I need this person to be able to do this thing. So then I want to make them responsible. Great. But in order, I want them to be accountable, I need to make them responsible. But if I make them responsible, then I actually have to make sure that I inform them, that I prepare them, that I get them ready. So when I asked Leanne, hey, what is mindset? And she said something, I said, wait, well, explain it to me like I'm your son, like I'm 10 years old. Because if you can't do that, then you can't make this person accountable. And if you can't make them accountable, guess what you can't do next? You can't give them the responsibility. You haven't prepared to set them up for failure. And if you want them to be responsible, that means you have to inform them. So if you can't give me the information, you can't make me accountable. If you can't make me accountable, you can't make me responsible. And so many people are running around with things that they can't manage, and then you call them irresponsible. It's true. They are separate from being responsible. They are disconnected from being responsible. And like I've said before, you cannot be responsible before you can be responsible. Ability to respond, you cannot be responsible. Period. Doesn't matter what you like, think, feel, and everything else. So all these words people are using, it's like, do you even know what that word means? How does that apply on Tuesday? Who is James on Tuesday? James, all of us on here, James, right? Christina, all of us on here are, when we say our name, we are literally housing the collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That is who we're being. The ones we're using are the ones, that's who we're being in that moment. That's who we're being. That's what James is. Until James is whatever his thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are. That is his experience. So if James wants to change that, then James has to change the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that he's using to create the experience. Everything you see on the outside is the end. It's the ta-da, it's the abracadabra and the rabbits in the hat. That's the end. But the end doesn't come without the beginning. This is the beginning. Your mindset is the beginning. The plumber is the beginning. I am is the beginning. So from the beginning, I am uses thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. You use them. Just like you use, because they are your tools. The plumber are not the tools. The plumber uses the tools. But the plumber is one with the tool. When you see the plumber and the wrench is in their hand, the plumber is one with the tool. You are not the tool, but you're one with your thoughts. You're not your thoughts, but you're one with them when you identify yourself with it. Well, you're one with the wrench when you pick it up and you're holding it in your hand. So your consciousness, right? Your aware, your I amness, the one that is creating your reality. And how does it do it? Via thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That is how a plumber creates a new experience different than what it walked in with. That is how you create one, change one, or control one. And this is in every area of life. Your money, your health, your relationships, or this or that. So most people think when they come here, I'm talking about like some kind of clouds in the sky. Oh, well, this is just, well, you have to give me some action steps. And you have to, if you had action steps, you wouldn't be praying in the first place. If you knew what you were in the situation you're in the first place, it's not a lack of labor that's your issue. It's a lack of your mindset. It's a lack of understanding who you are, so you know which tools to use. You know which thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to embody and to sit in. You don't know which tool. I could get a plumber's bag right now. I could be doing a whole bunch of stuff, clinking and clanking. That ain't gonna fix nothing. It's probably gonna break it because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So me doing doesn't do anything. But probably make it work. Now I just wasted that. My time wasted that and probably broke some things. And then I'm going to still have to call in somebody who knows. The difference between me and them are not even the tools. It's the tools. It's how to use it, which one to use, when to use it, how long to use it. They know. They know. They understand that they're a plumber. They have reached a level of knowledge to be able to call themselves something. You think it's your effort. It's not your effort. It's not your physical effort. That's not going to, but since you do that first and the world promotes it and says that is the primary thing that you must do, then everybody justifies their outcomes on how hard they work. Oh, girl, I worked 80 hours this week. Yeah, you can't say I don't want it. Okay. No, I can't. But I can say that you have a headache and you've been sick for 2 weeks straight. I can say you sacrificed your health to achieve something else. I can say that you sacrificed your health to achieve something else that if you knew better, you wouldn't have had to do that. Because I am doesn't rob Peter to pay Paul. I am is Peter and Paul. So you're going to rob yourself? I am doesn't make sacrifices and trade-offs. Only humanity does that. When you can have the whole thing, what does it say? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything is yours. You are already everything. You are already everything you will ever be or not be. What you're experiencing is what you have consciously or unconsciously, though conscious, it is either conscious or It's either what you are aware of or unaware of, but it's still awareness. Conscious, conscious. Just means you're not aware of being, but you still are. You still are. You just are what you're unaware of being, which is why you cannot understand why your world is the way it is. I wouldn't think that. I didn't know that. I don't want that. Yeah, I'm not saying you don't, but it doesn't mean you're not thinking that way in a way that it happened. Otherwise, it could not have happened. That's what the book says. No man comes to me unless my Father in me calls it. Nothing in the physical world happens without your awareness, without your, that's why you are there. That's why it happened to you. That's why you're in that place at that time. It couldn't have happened if you weren't. And you wouldn't be there if you weren't. If that wasn't who you are, you wouldn't be there. If that didn't have something to do with you in that sense, you wouldn't be there. Doesn't mean it's all your fault. Doesn't mean you can't change it, control it, or create it. Doesn't, but it has something to do with you, and you can do something about it. Should you choose to. But that's what you choose. What James chooses when somebody calls him is a conscious or an unconscious choice. It's either on purpose, right? I'm aware, or it's by habit. It's just a choice unaware. I don't need to think about it. I just do, because I've thought about that long enough where I no longer need to consciously do it. I just do it on habit. Just most of the things we do are habit. The words we use, the places we go, the food we eat, the shows we watch, they're a habit. People say, you ever heard people say, oh, people can change? Everybody hear that? Everybody heard that before? Think about it in your life. How often do people really change? Where you can be like, oh, they're a different person. I don't mean some variants of the same. Maybe they're a little better. Maybe they're a little worse, but they're in the same thing. Most people don't change as much as we like to think they do. They don't. They are not much different than they are since you've met them. Whether they're 8 years old, my mom hasn't changed that much. I haven't changed that much. Yeah, you grow. There are things that you do, and you can change. You don't have to change that much for the change to be worth it and to make a difference. There's only so much you can change about you and be you. So it's not about you changing. It's not so much about you changing who you are. It's about the change that you are really is about being the best version of you. That's really what we miss more than anything else. So we don't like the version of ourselves that we are. So we try to be something else or someone else. That's why people compare themselves all the time. That's why people copy other people all the time. Instead of realizing there's no one like you. And that's absolutely the best thing to be. But you being your best you is the thing to be. Being the best you, your best you, the James that knows which thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to choose. A good plumber is just as wonderful as a good doctor. So I don't need to be a doctor to be wonderful. A good painter is just as good as a good doctor. So I don't need to be a doctor to be wonderful. All I have to be is the wonderful me. But how can you do that if you don't know who you are? How do you do that? Why would you respect that? Why would you want to be that? Why would you choose you if you don't know you? Why would you do that? Makes sense to me. Why would you value you if you don't know you? Respect you if you don't know you? Why would you do that? How could you do that? Right? So that is, you can use the word mindset or not, doesn't matter, but that's actually what it is. Use the words you want to use, but when you boil it down, that's what it is. Every day you are using a collection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to create control and change your life, your physical experience. You're using your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to do that every day. You're doing that as Leanne. You're doing that as Christina. You're doing that as James. You're doing that as Latoya. You are doing that. And based on which tools you choose from your toolkit, from your brain, you are then going to have an experience. You're either going to fix the sink, break the sink, install the sink. You're either going to answer the call. You're not going to answer the call. You're going to show up on the call. You're not going to show up on the call. Everything is running out of that. People call it mindset. Everything is running off your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Everything. That is why when you change what you think, you change your life. When you change what you believe, you change your life. You change your experience. Your experience changes. That's why people change their diet, right? Like we talked about last week. So people change what they eat because they're like, if I change what I put in, I'm going to change what I get out. I'm going to change what this thing that I'm putting in looks like. That's why people do it. It's the same thing here. You want to change what your experience looks like. This is what you do. Change your mind, change your life, right? Choose your mind, choose your life. That's it. Change your mind, change your experience. Choose your mind, choose your experience. You are the creator of your reality. The plumber is the creator of his experience. If it answers the call, if it doesn't, it's going to have an experience or an outcome. All of that is based on who you believe yourself to be. This is what it is. But this is what it is on a Tuesday. So you understand it. So if you get to work late all the time, that's because of your mindset. If you get there early, it's because of your mindset. It's not mindset involuntarily, like it's doing something to you or doing something for you. No, it is because of the collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you hold that govern and dictate how you move. Like Monique said, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, in your business, in your health, in your life, in your relationships, with your money, with everything. That's why people thinking they can pick it up and put it down, or they can order it on the side like it's some hot sauce or some ketchup, or think they can just leave it behind like it's a purse, or pick it up when they're ready. They don't know what this is. They don't know how this works. And if you don't know how this works, you won't see it in everyday life. You won't see how it's affecting your business. Oh, I can't get up. Oh, I can't get up at that time. Oh, that's just too early for me. Oh, that's just too late for me. Oh, that's just too, you're weak. Your mind is weak. You're weak. The thoughts and feelings and beliefs that you are adapting or adopting or choosing is not allowing you to have the experience that you want. But who's the one choosing the thought? The thought don't make you choose it. The thought has never held anybody hostage. Never broke in and kidnapped anybody. You're choosing those. But if you don't know how to, or you do them unconsciously, you can choose the wrong one. It's in everything that you do. Your life literally is the physical expression of your mindset. Is literally the physical expression of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That's literally what your life is. And if you want to change it, control it, or choose it, then you have to change, control, and choose the thought, feeling, and beliefs, the things that you are assuming and believing to be true, that you're telling yourself is true, that you're taking as absolute and fact. Oh, well, I can't do that because, okay. I can do that because, okay. I can't or I can, okay. What did Henry Ford say, right? If you can, you can. If you say you can, you can. That's not a religious person. Not in the Bible. If you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. Whatever you tell yourself is true. According to your faith, be it unto you. What's the difference? There's no difference. Anybody who knows how to think says the same thing. Doesn't matter what book you find it in, what poem you read, what song you listen to. Anybody who knows how to think says the same thing after a while. You come to the same conclusion. You start realizing like, okay, this actually is true, which lead me to this truth, to that truth, to this truth, to that truth. That's what it is. That's how this works. All right. Before I go on to the next one, questions, comments, anything anybody wanted to say or ask or anything like that before I move on. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Does everybody understand what AKA parentheses quotes what mindset actually is now? Does everybody understand what that is?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's like 50 people on here. Not literally, but 2 people saying yes. This is not high school. This is not where you come in, sit in the back and be quiet and let somebody yell at you for 2 hours and you walk out and be like, I hope I understand. This isn't that, right? Does everybody, do we get what I said?
Yes, coach.
Yeah, wake up, pay attention. Tuesday's coming. It's coming. And you better be ready because it's ready. So you better be ready. Make sure you're paying attention, right? All right. Why do I get on here ranting and raving all the time, every weekend? Why am I so excited about it before the call comes? Over here sweating before the call starts, ready to go, waiting, right? Because I'm offering the same thing I'm offering to you the same thing that I want for me. Help. Help. That's what I was looking for. Help. I was looking for help. Hey, man, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what it is or isn't. But I know for my life, I'm not living it. I know I ain't got it or enough of it. Help. I need some help. I don't know, like I said, what it is or what it looks like, or I don't know. But I know I don't have enough help. I don't have enough of what I need to help me, to help myself. So what I consider myself more than anything is a helper. I don't care nothing about teaching. I'm not trying to get you to follow me to do anything. That's why we don't have any t-shirts. We don't have some kind of creed that we recite, some kind of, we don't have a mission statement or vision. We don't have, that's not what this is for. I'm not trying to get you to be like me or follow me. What I want to do is give you the same thing I was looking for, is help. If I consider myself anything, as a helper. That is why I always say to you, I don't care what you want. I just want you to have it. I don't want you to be like me. And I want you to be like you, but I want you to be like me in the sense of knowing how to think so that you can live the life you want to live. So when I say help, right, and I'm trying to help you, all I want to help you do is be the person that has what you want, whether it's what you want to be or do or have. It's to help you be who you want to be. I want to be the person who has $1 million. I want to be the person who has a great relationship. I want to be the person who does that. Okay, cool. So when I talk to you, when I speak to you, then I listen to what you say. I'm like, okay, these are the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that we either need to choose, change, or create in order for you to have that experience. I could change and choose and create my thoughts all day. That ain't gonna help you. Unless I choose to do them on your behalf. But then I'm only gonna see them in my world. You won't see them in your world. Because that's why you're the creator of your own reality. Because even though we're all here together, we're all like freeway lanes and like cars in a freeway lane. We may be as close as you think, but we're still having our own individual experience. So all I care about is helping you be the person who is what they want. Helping you be the end result of your desire. I am that. Everybody wants something. Everybody wishes for something. Everybody needs something. That's cool. That doesn't help you. That doesn't change it. Right? So all I care about is helping you be the person who is what they want to be, who has what they want to be, not who wants what they want, not who wishes what they want, not who hopes to get one day what they want. No, to help you be the person who is what they want. I am my desire. I no longer want it. I am it. Well, in order to embody that, you have to think, you have to choose thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that actually reflect you being that thing, not you wanting that thing. Not you hoping for that thing, not you working for that thing, not you trying to figure out that thing. You actually saying, I am what I want to be now. Not tomorrow, not when I see it, not after I get it, but now. I am that now. That's the only way to get it. That's the only way to get it. I don't consider myself a coach, a teacher. I don't care anything about that. Never have. I just don't. That's why I'm so excited about it, because I'm literally giving you what I was looking for. I'm as excited to give it as I was to find it. Oh, shoot, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know this. Most of the ones on here who know me on this call, who know me a little more personally, they will tell you how much information and videos and stuff I send them, right? From different people from all different types of life. Old, young, white, black, men, women. Hell, if a dog got something good to say, you'll get a video from me on it. I don't care who's singing it, as long as it's the truth, right? But because I want you, it's not about just listening to me. It's not about me. It's about me for me, because I am as passionate to give you what I got, what I found, and what I use and live by. And it is understanding how to choose your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs to create, control, or change your reality. That's how you do it as I am. I am means you are. I am means you are now. I am means now. So when you say, I want to be, that's cool, but you want to be because you're not. It's not good enough to want. That's just the beginning. That's the thing that gets you to fire up the engine to be, to now identify yourself as being. Wanting means I am not. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what gets your attention. Oh, I realize I'm not. That's what a want means. I'm not. I don't have that yet. That's not in my possession. That's not who I'm being. Okay, this want, I can turn this want now into the awareness of being. I'm now aware of being this want. I want $1 million. I'm now aware of having $1 million or being a millionaire. Whatever you want, whatever that end goal is, that's where I am has to reside. And it has to be now. And it has to be here. It's not later. It's not over there. It's not tomorrow. It's not will be someday. It's not over the rainbow. And I don't mean you can't say, like, I'm going to be a millionaire. You can say, I'm going to the store. As long as you know, like that is your intention. I am going to the store. I'm going to the store. You can say I'm going to the store because you know that's what you mean. It's already assumed for you. It's a done deal. So you can say, I'm going to be a millionaire. You can say that, but your intention must be, I already am that. It's a done deal for me. That's where your awareness has to lie. In the end of already being, not in wanting to be, not in trying to be. That's why when you assume you are something, that's where most people trip up. You assume you are something, then they say, well, what do I got to do for it? Well, what do you got to do for something you already are? You're assuming you're Monique every day. That's why every time people ask you your name and they've never met you, you say Monique. So then what do you have to do to be Monique? What are the action steps you have to take? If you already are what you say. If you already are what you say, what action steps do you have to take to be what you already are? You don't. That's not the way this works. That's the way the world works. That's the way humanity works. Humanity's in a constant state of chase. It's like the Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. It's in a constant state of trying, chasing, it's efforting, working, earning, because it doesn't own. It's a constant state of I am not. It's in a constant state of not. So it's always trying. So they try to change not into I am. They try to do this by doing this: working, earning, efforting, discipline, hard work, all the stuff they tell you. Mindset. Let's put that down there too. The garbage when they don't know what they're saying. Let's put down that all of that. All of that is to try to get you into the good graces of I am, into the good graces of God. You have all these things you have to do. Oh, good person. Write that down. Wash your hands. Write that down. People put all kind of stuff under here.
Don't eat pork.
Say it again. Yes.
Don't eat pork.
No swine. They do the whole thing. They do the whole thing. But what is it? But in the same book, it says, don't call what I've cleaned unclean. Don't call what I've cleansed unclean. You can eat, brought the sheet down, brought all manner from heaven, brought the sheet down, brought all manner of food, and say, what I have cleansed, I have cleansed. Eat. What does it say in the book? Nothing that you eat justifies you to God. Your diet doesn't do that. That's human. That's just a human limitation or condition that it puts in order to earn or get in the good graces. But you only earn and get in the good graces of something of who you really are when you don't know that you're that. You're trying to get in the good graces of I am. You're trying to get in the good graces of God by what you do, and you say you're I am every day. So Monique now is not going to eat pork because she wants to be Monique. Veronica's not going to eat pork because, she wants to be Veronica. Leanne's not going to drink coffee anymore because, because she wants to really be Leanne for real this time. Just the stuff we make up when we don't know who we are. It's endless. It'll go on forever. You will put more limitations and conditions upon something that you already are and with things you already own than you can believe. That's what happens when you don't know who you are. That's what happens. You'll make up a whole bunch of stuff trying to be or trying to become when you already are. You are already everything you will ever be. You are already everything you'll ever be right now. You're already everything you will ever be and everything you will never be. But what you will ever be or never be is just a choice. You are already I am or I am not in every area of your life. And you're choosing I am or I am not in every area of your life, every day, all the time, by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. They're telling you this is the what choice I'm going to make, or this is the choice I'm going to make. But you're already either one. That's why you can choose which one. And whatever one you choose, that is what you call reality. That's what you call your experience. But you are both, meaning you have the ability to choose either one. No one else can choose for you. No one else can choose instead of you. No one else can occupy that space but you. It's your life. It's your experience. You are already everything you'll ever be. You're the person with the money and the person without. You're the person with the perfect employees, or you're the person with the worst ones. You're both already. You're only going to experience which one you are believing to be true for you by what you're choosing, feeling, and thinking to be true, by what you're telling yourself. That's how you choose which experience you have. They're both available right now. Creation's finished. That means you are too. That means you're already everything you're going to be and everything you're not. You're just choosing what you are or what you are not by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. There's nothing left except for you to choose. And most of us choose unconsciously. I don't gamble because I'm more afraid of losing than I am winning. And if I win, I don't even want to lose $1. I'm so glad that I didn't lose. I'm not even happy that I won. It just ain't my lane. You gotta know who you are. It just ain't my lane. I did it once in high school. I was so happy that I didn't lose. I wasn't even happy that I won. I was like, man, I want to learn how to play craps. I want to learn how to. I started learning how to play, and I saw people's. And in high school, $5 back in the day, $5 was a lot of money. You could go to Taco Bell and get loose back in the day with $5. So when I saw people rolling dice and $5 was gone, I was like, oh no, that's not for me. No, I rebuke you, Satan. Absolutely not. that was it. Satan might well stole my money. $5, I felt shortness of breath. I felt like I was Red Fox. I was like, oh God, this is the big one. $5, my legs got weak. I was already on the ground rolling the dice, but I thought I was gonna fall. That $5, it was like, whoa, that $5 is gone? What do you mean? Right? What do you mean? Like, yeah, you can double it up. I'm like, you mean lose 5 more? But oh no. That was my one good time. I said, oh yeah, that's not for me. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Let me move on. Get behind me, Satan. I'm not doing it. It's too much. It was too much. A teenager blood pressure shot up like it was a cartoon. I was like, oh God, $5. It was gone. Right? So you gotta understand, right? You gotta know who you are. But the point is, right, that you're everything you'll already be. You're already everything you'll ever be. You're just choosing which one becomes your experience by what you're aware of being, by what you're telling yourself. That's which one that's called your human experience, is which one you're telling yourself. I am this, or I'm not that. We think there's some kind of steps or something you have to take after that. And it's not like that. It doesn't work like that. Because all of your steps are guided. All your paths are directed. When people say it's inspired action, it's action you're taking because from I am now and here. Otherwise, you're either taking action from I am not or I am. That's the only 2 places you're taking action from. I am not or I am. In every area of your life, you either are or you're not. I know people, it is binary. You either are or you're not. It's not vague. It's not ambiguous. There's no gray line. There's no gray area. You either are or you're not. Let there be light. It came on or it didn't. Before there was light, there was what?
Darkness.
Did it say gray? Did it say dusk? Did it say dawn? No, it's either light or it's dark. You either are or you're not. You're either I am or I am not. My employees are perfect or they suck. There ain't no, which one are you occupying? I'm healthy or I'm not. I have it or I don't. Humanity loves to get into these things because it makes them feel better. Yeah, I kind of got to do it, but I ain't really, but I got it. That's not how this goes. It's not how this works. Right? These things we have to understand, right? All I care about is you being what you want to be. So every bit of information that comes across to you is to get you to think about yourself the way the person you want to be thinks. You can't be that without thinking like that. That's why we don't give an 8-year-old a car. They can't think like that, like the person that they need to think like to drive it. But they don't have the body to drive it because they don't think like that either. They don't think at that level. So their body cannot express what they don't think at that level. You cannot physically do above what you think, at the level you think, that you feel and believe, that you tell yourself you are. You're not going to produce anything physically past that. It doesn't matter how many hours you work. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. You're going to be right back where you are. But people justify labor because labor is the thing that they go to. It's their go-to. It's humanity's go-to is labor. So we justify everything by how much we do of it. So we're constantly thinking we have to earn something, chase something, work harder, work longer. And you sacrifice your health, you sacrifice your relationships. Yeah, but I got this. Yeah, but you lost that. That's not prosperity and good health, even as your soul prospers. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So how could you trade your health for your relationship? How could you trade your relationship for your money? How could you trade your money for your this or that? Why are you trading things? Why do you think you can only get one thing but not the other? You can have something, but you can't have everything. Say, ooh, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything is the Lord's. Everything is I am's, everything. So what part of the stuff that you have can you not have? Where are you getting that from? Who's telling you that? You have to make a choice on who you want to be. And you have to line your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs up with that identity. I am that thing. I'm not what I used to be. I'm not what I was. I'm not even what I wanted to be. I am what I want. I am that now. I'm that. And just like you're sitting here listening or sit from wherever you are, you have to sit in the awareness of being that until you get comfortable with it, familiar with it. So affirmations help you do that. Scripting helps you do that. Imagining helps you do that. All those things, those are the techniques don't work. The technician works. You are the technician. You're just using a technique to get yourself comfortable and familiar with the awareness of being something that you haven't been aware of prior to that. Or previously for however long. You're getting yourself comfortable and familiar with a new awareness of being. So writing it down all the time, telling yourself through affirmations all the time, imagining all the time, whatever, listening to things that tell you or remind you that you are this thing that you are now. That's all that's for. It's just a technique. It doesn't do anything. But the technician is using it because they're using it to remind themselves of something. But the technique is not your savior. Only you are. Wrenches can't do anything if there's not a human hand holding it. That's all an affirmation is a wrench. It's something that the plumber has to know how to use. And if you do, it'll get you what you want, right? But it's not about the technique. It's just about the technician. But the technique, you can use the technician to help put you in the state of mind constantly that you need to be in to produce what it is you want. Because every physical thing is a production of a state of mind. Just a state of consciousness. Which one are you occupying? I am or I am not in every area of your life. Every day, all the time. That's what this is. That's what a mindset is. It's what state of consciousness are you occupying? We do it here on purpose, by choice. I'm going to choose that. I want to live here. Does anybody break out a map of the whole world and be like, I'm going to move? Very few people do that. And very few people are happy about what they ended up with. You don't want to live like that. But that was the whole reason I brought up the dice. Because guess what? The dice game, I lost $5. But we're losing more than $5. We're losing our life because we're gambling. We're doing the same thing I was doing. We're gambling. What does that mean? It means the outcome is not guaranteed or assured. So we're hoping it's on our side, but we can't guarantee or assure it. We can't insure it because we're not sure. We don't know. Right? But we don't know because we don't know. We have chosen to tell ourselves we don't know. Are you that? I don't know. Can you do that? I don't know. I hope. I wish. I'm going to try. God said, let there be light. God didn't say nothing about hoping, wishing, and trying. Come on, light. Come on, light. Big bang, check, little bang. Come on, light. Like, We're doing the same thing. We're I am, just like that mind in the book. I am. You say, I am Monique, I am Leanne, I am Leslie. You say it every day and don't realize who you are. Don't even stop to think, well, what does that mean? Say it every day. I am is here and right now. That means whatever you decide to be, as soon as you decide to be it, you are that now, here, today, right now, this second. That's who you are. What did Neville say? You are already everything you want to be. Your failure to believe it, your failure to assume it is why you don't see it. I'm rich. Well, I don't see it, so I guess I'm not. Well, you went from I am for a second right back to I am not. Who did that? You walked out of that. You went to I am, then you say, well, I am not. Guess I'm not. But I am is a choice. You don't look outside to tell yourself who you are. I think I'm Leslie because I can see the tree over there. You don't look outside to see who you are. So then why do you look outside to tell yourself who you want to be next? That choice is never made out externally. It's expressed externally. It's never made externally. Right? All right, Vanessa, pull that up. We're going to read 2 stories real quick, and then we'll finish off a question and answer so you can see what we're talking about in real example. Then we'll leave it open. All right. So when you first go down to the bottom, it's going to be story number 8. You can go all the way down to the bottom. It's the last story. You'll see them like the little numbers when the paragraphs break. Okay. All right. So I want you to listen to what we're reading, and I want you to think about what we're reading. Sometimes a lot of times I'm tempted to read it because reading with expression is important so that it's impressed. Reading with expression is important so that the information is impressed, right? Looking at the details so that the information is impressed, right? So that you understand really what's happening. How did the story start? What was the situation? What situation was the person in? What did they have? What did they not have? What were they thinking when it started? What were they thinking in the middle? How did it change? What changed? What did the person think in the end? All those things are important because these are all you. All these stories are about you, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if yours is different. It's how it happens, what we're thinking, how we feel, all feels the same, right? Okay. So, Leanne, I'll have you read all the way until it says New York City.
Okay. The man and wife in this story have attended my lecture for a number of years. It is an interesting illustration of the conscious use of this law by 2 people concentrating on the same objective at one time. This man and his wife were an exceptionally devoted couple. Their life was completely happy and entirely free from any problems or frustrations. For some time, they had planned to move into a larger apartment. The more they thought about it, the more they realized that what they had their hearts set on was a beautiful penthouse. In discussing it together, the husband explained that he wanted one with a huge window looking out on a magnificent view. The wife said she would like to have one side of the walls mirrored from top to bottom. They both wanted to have a wood-burning fireplace. It was a must that the apartment be in New York City.
Wonderful. All right, Veronica, you read the next one. And everybody who can read, put your hand up and we'll call on you so we can keep it moving.
Which paragraph?
For months. The next one. That
For
one.
months they had searched for just an apartment in vain. In fact, the situation in the city was such that the securing of any kind of apartment was almost impossibility, and almost an impossibility. They were so scarce that not only were there waiting lists for them, but all sorts of special deals, including premium, the buying of furniture, etc., were involved. New apartments were being leased long before they were completed, many being rented from the blueprints of the buildings.
Okay, who pick somebody next?
Monique.
Early in the spring, after months of fruitless seeking, they finally located one which they seriously considered. It was a penthouse apartment in the building just being completed on Upper Fifth Avenue facing Central Park. It had one serious drawback. Being a new building, it was not subject to rent control, and the couple felt the yearly rental was exorbitant. In fact, it was several $1,000s a year more than they had considered paying. During the spring months of March and April, they continued looking at various penthouses throughout the city, but they always came back to this one. Finally, they decided to increase the amount they would pay substantially and made a proposition which the agent for the building agreed to forward to the owners for consideration.
Perfect. Okay, Latoya.
It was at this point, without discussing it with each other, each determined to apply the law of assumption. It was not until later that each learned what the other had done. Night after night, they both fell asleep in imagination in the apartment they were considering. The husband, lying with his eyes closed, would imagine that his bedroom windows were overlooking the park. He would imagine going to the window the first thing in the morning and enjoying the view. He felt himself sitting on the terrace overlooking the park, having cocktails with his wife and friends, all thoroughly enjoying it. He filled his mind with actually feeling himself in the penthouse and on the terrace. During all this time, unknown to him, his wife was doing the same thing. Several weeks went by without any decision on the part of the owners, but they continued to imagine as they fell asleep each night that they were actually sleeping in the penthouse. One day, to their complete surprise, one of the employees in the apartment building in which they lived in told them that the penthouse there was vacant. They were astonished because theirs was one of the most desirable buildings in the city, with a perfect location right on Central Park. They knew there was a long waiting list of people trying to get an apartment in their building. The fact that a penthouse had unexpectedly become available was kept quiet by the management because they were not in a position to consider any applicants for it. Upon learning that it was, I'm sorry? Oh. Upon learning that it was vacant, the couple immediately made a request that it be rented to them, only to be told that this was impossible. The fact was that not only were there several people on a waiting list for a penthouse in the building, but it was actually promised to one family. Despite this, the couple had a series of meetings with the management, at the conclusion of which the apartment was theirs. The building being subject to rent control, their rental was just about what they had planned to pay when they first started looking for a penthouse. The location, the apartment itself, and the large terrace surrounding it on the south, west, and north was beyond all their expectations. And in the living room, on one side, is a giant window, 15 feet by 8 feet, with a magnificent view of Central Park. One wall is mirrored from floor to ceiling, and there is a wood burning fireplace.
All right. So quickly, what do we think about that? What do we get from it? What do we learn?
That's my vision right there.
Yeah. The circumstances don't matter.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter what it looks like. It wasn't available. The price was too high. It was promised to another family. All these things were in the way, but none of that mattered because they both went within and imagined themselves there already.
Okay. Who else?
For me, that's where the power is. The power is in the ability to imagine the thing that you've decided on, and to maintain that vision regardless of what external circumstances are showing up. And I know for myself that it triggered me. It was like a bell went off in my head, because I said to myself, that's what you don't do. That's what you don't do, is you don't stay in the imagination day after day. You imagine it once or twice, get caught up in the circumstances, and then lose that connection.
The power of the thought and tongue, like they say, two or more people in agreement, it should come to pass.
But okay, but were they in agreement with each other?
We were in agreement on what they wanted.
Were they in agreement with each other?
Yes,
But they didn't know that they were both doing it.
but they still agreed on the place and everything else. So yeah, even though they didn't know they were imagining, they both agreed on what they wanted, and they both were still in alignment for it
Alignment.
with each other and with God and with who they are and the I am.
So they are both. If she said, "My name is Joan," she would say, "I am Joan," right?
Mm-hmm.
If he said, "I am John," if his name was John, he would say, "I am John."
Mm-hmm.
John and Joan are different, but the common denominator is what?
I am.
I am. That is who they both were. That is where their allegiance was, and that is where their unification was at the top of the pyramid. They're at the bottom, so to speak, in the human form. John and Joan are here, but they're both looking up in agreement to the one thing that they both have in common, which is their awareness of being. They're both thinking the same thing. They don't have to think it between each other, right? But they're thinking it as the same entity. They're all thinking it as I am. That's why you're the creator of your reality. Because whether somebody is thinking the same thing as you or thinking something completely different, it doesn't matter. You're always going to get what you want. Because as long as you are being, as long as you're the I am that has, you will always get. It doesn't matter whether somebody's thinking the same thing or not. Because even when it's talking about the two or three of you, it's not talking about physical people. That's what people use it to say, but that's not actually what it means. Right? Because your physical, it's talking really about your physical. It's really a tripartite thing. It's talking about, your humanity, your divinity, and your awareness of being all being on the same page, in the sense of when you say I am, right? When you say Joan, and when you say and combining those things, right? Or John, combining those things. So yeah, it is showing you that whatever you tell yourself is true. Whether somebody's telling themselves the same thing, whatever you tell yourself, you get. Whatever they tell themselves, they get. If you both tell yourself the same thing, whether you know or not, you're still going to get the same thing. Right? Because you're still talking to the same awareness. You're still being aware of the same thing. That's why it doesn't matter whether somebody's with you or against you, so to speak. They're going to get what they're against, and you're going to get what you're with, because you're still going to get what you are believing yourself to be, as I am. Right? So, yeah, absolutely right. Well done. So, like Monique said, right? It was scarce. It was almost impossible. It was fruitless seeking. So they sought. So when people talk about action steps, they were seeking. Fruitless seeking. Long waiting list. Then they told it was impossible. Several waiting. But what they say in part of it, they said, well, unexpectedly, someone came and told them something. Someone came and told them something. You can't make somebody come and tell you something. Right? Somebody came and told them something. So what they were aware of being is being brought to them in physical experience. That's now opening up. That's something you can't work for, something you can't earn. You can go for what they sought. It was almost an impossibility. All those things they did. This is all the human side. This is all of your awareness. Consciousness is a law. The use of consciousness is a law. The use of what you tell yourself to be true is a law. It's a law of mind. The universe is mental. All is mind. Because every physical thing you see first was a thought. So if you give credo or credence, if you give credit to any physical thing, how do you not give it to the thing that created it? Right? But what they say, night after night, like Leslie's saying, this is the thing, night after night. Whether that's literal or figurative, if you, however often you need to remember who you are, that's what you do. Whether you wake up every morning and tell yourself for 5 minutes, or before you go to bed, or throughout the day, night after night. It means every time you think about this thing, night after night, day after day, minute after minute, whenever you think about this thing, it is what you said it is. You remind, this is where I am. This is who I am. This is how it is. Doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. Because as Monique says, circumstances don't matter. Well, circumstances don't matter because you're the circumstance itself. You are the circumstance. Just like they said in Breaking Bad, I'm the danger. I'm not worried about something happening to me. I'm the danger. Who is it you think you're talking to? Who is it you think you see? When you realize that I am the creator of my reality. If you know that I am the creator of my reality. I am is the creator, right? I am awareness, consciousness. So when Leslie talked about, I have to stay here. Yeah, you have to stay as I am. You can't go back and forth into I am not. This is not ping pong. We can't go back and forth. That's what they talk about in the book. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded mind, you playing ping pong, the ball's never on either side. It's just going back and forth. So you stay as you are. I am is not. I am is. Which one is it? I am not. Right? This is what it is. So night after night, they said they filled their mind. And they continued. They night after night continued, filled. You basically say, this is who I am, and it pushes everything else out that's not like it. Because I'm this, I can't be that. Because I'm this, you got to go. And you basically keep your mind in the end, in the outcome. I am the end. Whatever that end is for you. I'm rich, I'm healthy, I have a great business, I have great relationships, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, whatever it is you want. It's only you talking to you. You literally can, it all works the same. You're doing it for different things, but it all works the same. The law, it's a law. It's not gambling. That's why I like it. I told you I don't want to lose $1. If I had shortness of breath, if you'd have run my blood pressure in that moment, boy, I probably would have been admitted to the hospital. Over $5. Weak in the knees, weaker than SWV. I was messed up over $5. Right? Because it's gambling. We are gambling with our lives. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Okay. People don't realize that everybody's living in Vegas. Everybody's in the casino. In Atlantic City. Everybody's somewhere out there getting their scraps on. Roulette, everything. Because we're gambling. Right? This is a law. But it is what we do here. We use it consciously. It's a conscious use. Like Latoya said, on purpose. It's a conscious use of a law. That whatever I say I am, that's what I am. As long as I think that, that's what will be proven to be true. As soon as I stop, whatever I'm thinking next. That's why when people talk about mindset, they don't know what they're talking about. Because you're always thinking something. You're always thinking I am or I am not. There's no mindset. This is not something you can turn on and turn off when you think about it or when you get ready or when you get right. There's no day you can go out and just start thinking all kind of stupidness and foolishness and think it don't happen, because there's no day that you're not God. There's no day that you're not the authority. There's no day that you're not the operant power. So if God takes a day off, then what's going to happen? God takes a day off, what's going to happen? What's the sun going to do? What's the moon going to do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What? What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Is the sun going to stay up?
I would say yes.
Based on what?
Creation is finished.
That is correct. But if God takes a day off, creation took a day off.
Well, then all bets are off. Who knows what will happen?
All bets are off on your life and your dream too. As soon as you start taking days off. As soon as you start thinking you can think whatever you want. Oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm just in my feels. Oh, I'm just this. Oh, well, you don't understand. But did you look outside? Well, so-and-so told me. Well, my boss told me. Well, my cousin told me. Okay, well, you done took a day off. Why don't you just call it? Why are you sitting around? Just say you took a day off. But just understand that day is not going to be the same type of day as it was when you were at work, when you were aware. Just understand that. When you start telling yourself you can just think anything, or allowing yourself to think you can just think anything. You are I am. That's you. That's you. It's not religious. You've been saying I am since you were 8, 5, 6. You've been saying the same thing since you can remember. Didn't require a religious book for you to say that. You've been saying it. The people in the book are just trying to alert you that it's you. That thing they talk about, God, is you. That's why God said, my name is I am. It didn't say God. God is a title, like mother, father, doctor, dentist, representing what you do. And God is the supreme being. So I am is that. So I am said, my name is I am. So when Monique says I am, she's alerting herself that I am the supreme being. But I am is not a body. Otherwise, we'd all have to look the same. I am is a consciousness. I am, your consciousness is the supreme being. It's awareness. It's what creates all physical things you see. So when you don't stay in your frame, then the frame is empty. When you take a day off, the sun goes down. It gets dark. Without God, there is no light. Without God, there is no light. Without you, there is no light. You're the light of the earth. You're the salt of the world. You're the candle that lights up the whole house. The house on the hill that cannot be hid. That's you. That's I am. That's you. You make it all jump. You make it all work, right? One more story, and then we'll finish it off. Will you bring it up? Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then go up to number 6. All right, perfect. All right, hands up if you can read. Who wants to start?
I can go.
Okay.
Only the most complete and intense use of the law of assumption could have produced such results in this extreme situation. 4 years ago, a friend of our family asked that I talk with his 28-year-old son, who was not expected to live. He was suffering from a rare heart disease. This disease resulted in a disintegration of the organ. Long and costly medical care had been of no avail. Doctors held no hope for recovery. For a long time, the son had been confined to his bed. His body had shrunk almost to a skeleton, and he could talk and breathe only with great difficulty. His wife and 2 small children were home when I called, and his wife was present throughout our discussion.
Okay, who else? Okay.
I started by
telling him that there was only one solution to any problem, and that solution was a change of attitude. Since talking exhausted him, I asked him to nod in agreement if he understood clearly what I said. This he agreed to. I described the facts underlying the law of consciousness. In fact, the consciousness was the only reality. I told him that the way to change any condition was to change his state of consciousness concerning it. As a specific aid in helping him to assume the feeling of already being, well, I suggested that in imagination, he see the doctor's face expressing incredulous amazement in finding him recovered, contrary to all reason from the last stages of an incurable disease. That he see him double checking in his examination and hear him saying over and over, "It's a miracle. It's a miracle." He not only understood all this clearly, but he believed it implicitly. He promised that he would faithfully follow this procedure. His wife, who had also been listening, intently assured me that she too would diligently use the law of assumption and her imagination in the same way as her husband. The following day, I sailed for New York, all this taking place during a winter vacation in the tropics. Several months later, I received a letter saying the son had made a miraculous recovery. On my next visit, I met him in person. He was in perfect health, actively engaged in business, and thoroughly enjoying the many social activities of his friends and family. He told me that from the day I left, he never had any doubt that if it would work. He described how he faithfully followed the suggestion I had made to him, and day after day, he had lived completely in assumption of already being well and strong. Now, 4 years after his recovery, he is convinced that the only reason he's here today is due to his successful use of the law of assumption.
Okay. What do we get out of that?
There is power in thought.
Say it again.
There is power in thought.
Okay. What does that mean to you? What do you mean?
I mean, for me, it reminds me that I'm powerful. The things that I'm believing are achievable. So whatever I'm believing, like that's my reality. So if I'm intent on believing good things, then good things are going to abound. It's just, I mean, you already know me, Coach Licky. I believe this.
But it's good to hear it. It's good to say it. It's good to hear it. Good to think it. Right? That's what. Where else are we going to hear this stuff? Where else? When you cut this off, how many other places you going to hear it? You better say it now. You better talk it now, right? Right? It's like Christmas. When else are you going to see that family member? You better hug them now, kiss them now. You better tell them you love them now. You better tell them it's good to see you now, right? So yeah, that's why we do it. Wonderful. Okay, what else did we get?
All is mind.
What does that mean to you? What does that mean?
That made me think about all is mind. So that everything starts with your thoughts. Everything starts basically within before it's without.
As above, so below, as within, so without. And you're not even, let's say, connotatively religious, but you're saying the same thing that they said. So I'm saying there's only one truth because there's only one cause of all things. You have to come back to the same thing. Doesn't matter whether you're religious, doesn't matter whether you're not, doesn't matter whether you've ever read a book or you haven't. Once you start to understand it, it makes sense. And you end up saying the same thing that people say. That's why I say the book doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about what's in it and what they're trying to tell you. But since most people don't speak different languages, they can't teach it properly. And since most people don't speak different languages, they don't know it's not being taught properly. They don't know that word doesn't mean that. It actually means this, or that this word, when you pile up a bunch of words on a sentence, you get a pile up a bunch of words, you get a sentence. Pile up a bunch of sentences, you get a paragraph. Then you get a page. But if you don't understand the words, how do you understand the sentence? If you don't understand the sentence, how do you understand the paragraph? Can't understand the paragraph, you can't understand the page. If you can't understand the page, you don't understand the book. How many words you're going to misspell or misread or misunderstand and think you're going to get the right understanding? Right? You're not. Right? Perfect. All right. What else did we get?
When Vera was talking, all I was thinking was mind over matter. Like your mind is more important than the physical.
Why?
Because it comes first. Your thoughts is like what your reality is, what makes up your reality.
What is reality?
Your thoughts manifested.
Correct. So what is matter?
Your thoughts manifested.
That's why it matters. That's why what you said matters. Because matter is just the physical expression of your mind. Mind turns into matter. And when the matter disappears, when the building disappears, you need to use your mind again to create a new building. Right? If the building burns down, an earthquake gets it, or they tear it down to build something else, you're going to use your mind again to build another physical thing. So mind and matter are one. They're one and the same. Mind turns into matter and matter returns back into mind. And while as long as matter is up, it's because it's a reflection of the mind. When somebody changes their mind and knocks that building down, doesn't the matter disappear? But didn't the matter disappear after they changed their mind? Mind and matter are one. They're one and the same. But it's important to remember the order, because it is important to understand that they are the same. So you can understand, like, oh, this matter only got here because it came from my mind. So if I change my mind, I'm automatically going to change the matter. But matter is literally just the physical expression of my mind. They are one and the same. So anything, any circumstance or matter, any physical expression that's happening is just matter. That's why it doesn't matter, because it's being controlled by the mind. But it is the mind in physical form. They're one and the same. Absolutely. All right. Anyone else? What do we get from the story?
Hey, Coach Lucky. Basically, whatever I think is the outcome. Basically, like it doesn't matter what other people's diagnosis may be or whatever people's.
Let me back you up. Whatever you think is the outcome. What does that mean?
I decide. I choose.
What?
Everything.
No, but in that example, what did you decide?
I'm healthy. I'm healed. I'm whole.
Okay. So when you said you say whatever I think is the outcome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. Whatever you think is the outcome, because the outcome is what you think.
Right.
Is the matter. The matter is the physical expression of what you think. So literally, whatever you think is the outcome, you are thinking the outcome. You're thinking the outcome, you just haven't seen it yet. So we think we're thinking the outcome to change something. No, we're actually thinking we change it if we think something different. But it doesn't really matter. When we say I'm thinking whatever I think is the outcome, thinking is the outcome. You're thinking of what's going to happen. Whatever happens is because of what you're thinking. So your thinking literally is the outcome. You're thinking the outcome. You're thinking you are declaring the end from the beginning. The end is the outcome. The beginning is the thought. So when you're thinking, you're declaring the end from the beginning. The beginning is thought. So you are literally, whatever you're thinking is the outcome. You're thinking the outcome before you see it.
Right.
You're thinking so if you're unwilling to think the outcome, or like Leslie said, if you're unwilling to maintain the thought of the outcome, you can't get the outcome.
Right.
You can't, because the outcome is the matter. It's the thing. It doesn't matter because the thought creates matter. Matter is only a reflection of thought. So the outcome, you are thinking the outcome, literally. You're not like creating the outcome. No, you're thinking the outcome right now. But because you haven't experienced it yet, we don't realize actually that it's already done. That we're just thinking the outcome. We're thinking the end that already exists. We're thinking, and so now we're living in that end. Will you go back to that story real quick? Let me show you guys something real quick, and this will be the last thing, and then let me show you this real quick. What I mean, you're thinking the outcome. You're literally thinking it. Will you go? Let's see. Go up a little bit. There's one part. Okay, right there. You're thinking the outcome. So you see where it says as a specific aid? Yeah, right there. To your left a little bit. Right there as a specific aid. No, you're on it. Go down. Right. Go down. Okay, right there. Right there. So you see where it says as a specific aid in helping him to assume the feeling of already being well. Assume the feeling of already being well. You're thinking the outcome. The feeling of already being, the awareness of already being. When you say, I suggested that in imagination he saw the doctor's face. Well, that is a reflection of what? Assuming the feeling of already being well. Assume the feeling. What is an assumption? What is an assumption? Anybody? What is that? A what? What?
A thought.
A thought. What does that mean?
It's when you believe in something to be real.
Based on what?
Your own
Desire,
thoughts
desire,
Your own thoughts and desire
and awareness.
and awareness. Okay, what didn't you say? What didn't you say?
it was forced upon me.
Okay, or what else?
It was based on what you see.
Okay. So then it had nothing to do with any physical thing outside of you, whether it's what you see or whether it was another person. All of you mentioned something that was individualized and it was all internal. What you thought, what you imagine, or what you want, or your desire, those are all individual internal things. An assumption is a choice to believe something that in your physical world you have no proof. You can't prove it. Remember, I always say, okay, what are you going to do at 11 o'clock? And somebody answers, and what do I always say?
How do you know?
Well, no, what do I say?
Is that true?
What do I say? I say, prove it, right? Can anybody ever prove it?
No.
No, but it's an assumption. It's something you believe without proof. But it's a choice. You're making a choice to believe something. You just believe that this is just the way it's going to be. You can't base it on anything on the outside world. That's why you can't prove it. If I say to you, Leanne, okay, at 2 o'clock, Leanne, at 2 o'clock your time, what are you going to be doing?
I'll be at home writing.
Okay, prove it.
I can't prove it, but
Yeah.
it's a choice that I'll make.
Where did you make that choice from?
My thoughts, my
Where
beliefs.
are those? Where are
Inside me.
inside? An assumption is a choice you make inside that you do not use the outside to justify, to vindicate. You can't prove it on the outside. The reason you can't prove it is because you can't point to any physical thing. You can't bring in any physical thing to justify what you said. That's why it's an assumption. It's an internal choice that you're making that has nothing to do with the outside world. Whether you can use something to prove it, whether you can hold something, taste something, touch it, point to it, it is a choice that you're making. And what he say? What he say? He said as a specific aid in helping him to assume the feeling. That means choose the feeling of already being well, independent of what your outside world is telling you. You can't use anything in the outside world to prove what you're assuming, what you're choosing. It is an assumption is a choice, that an internal choice that you make that has nothing to do with the outside world. It has nothing to do with his health. It has nothing to do with your money. It has nothing to do with, well, I can point to my clock. It has nothing to do with, well, I'm going. You can't prove it when you say it. That's what an assumption is. You can
It's a decision.
Anything. It is a choice, a decision. A choice is what triggers a decision. Decision comes from the Latin word decidere, which means to cut off. So when you're coming out of your driveway and you make a choice to turn left, that choice triggered a decision, which means you've cut off right. So when you assume something of already, what do you say? You have to assume the feeling of already being. You have to choose to tell yourself that you're already well right now. I am is only right now. If you're not right now, you're not. Because you're either I am or I am not. So what do they say? I tell him to help him to choose the feeling of already being well. I describe the fact underlying the law, not gambling, not wishing, not hoping, the law of consciousness, the law of I am. The law, I am is a law. It is the law. It is how things work. It is set up this way. That consciousness, I am, is the only reality. So if you don't stick with I am, you are now in the territory of I am not. And I am and I am not do not live together any more than light or dark do, right or wrong, left or right, up and down. They don't live together. They both exist, but you're only experiencing one at a time. So the law of awareness, the consciousness is the only reality. That's the law. And only to change, he said, I told him that the way to change any condition, anything, I am reality, I am is reality. What humanity calls reality. Reality is just what humans call reality, is just matter. It's the physical thing expressed. But the physical thing expressed is only expressed because of the creation, the creator. It's the creator expressing itself. So why do you think it said he was suffering? He had spent he was there long and costly medical care. He was suffering. So when people say take action, do something, he was there. Long and costly medical care. He was suffering. He was 28 years old. He wasn't expected to live. The doctors gave up hope. So you took action. You went to the hospital and they gave up hope. What are you going to do with that action? What does that action do for you? What did it do for him? Did it do anything?
Nothing.
So then, right, for a long time, his body has shrunk to a skeleton. He was in the last stages of an incurable disease. But what did he say? When he met him, he was in perfect health. But what did he do? He faithfully followed day by day, like the story before, faithfully followed night by night. They faithfully followed. They stayed in their frame. They stayed as I am, not I am not. But the only way you can stay as I am is if you stop looking for proof. Meaning proof is not the same thing as assumption. Proof requires things in the 5 sense realm. I can taste it, touch it, see it, hear it, smell it, something like that. But if you keep looking for that, you are not in your creative phase. Because how would God have proof before God said, let there be light? What proof would there be that light is possible? If it never existed, how could it exist? Thank you. You can cut that off. Thank you. How could it exist? If the creator says, well, since I don't see it, it doesn't exist, then how would it ever be? If you don't say, let there be light, let there be great employees, let there be perfect health, let there be wealth, let there be success. If you're unwilling to say that because you don't have any proof, or when you do say it and then you go look for proof and you can't see it in your physical world, then you're not assuming now. And assuming is the ability to choose what your desired end is without proof being available when you say it. That is what a creator does, because a creator understands that it's the proof. I can't look for something that I don't produce. God can't say, I wonder why there's not light. If I am is the creator of light. You can't say, why isn't my business working, if you're the creator of your business. You can't say that. Not when you know better. You have to say, okay, right now I am being the person whose business is not what I want it to be. Okay, well, let me use the law of awareness, the law of consciousness, the law of you don't have to call it anything. It's whatever you wanted to call it, whatever you want to call it, right? But what does it say? The law says you have to change your attitude, meaning your awareness. There's only one solution to everything. It's I am or I am not. Right now, if you're having a problem, it's because you're not. If you want the solution, it is to become. It is to become I am. There's I on this side with all the problems is I am not. On this side with all the answers is I am. Both of those produce all of the things that are going on here. And all of these things that are going on here. I am does them both. But I am as not, make sure these things happen. I am as I am, make sure these things happen. I am is doing them both. And both of I am is you. This is you. That's what the book is trying to tell you. That's what anybody who understands how to think is trying to tell you. It's you. It's not your flesh and blood, you. It is you. You are not flesh and blood. You are consciousness. Your awareness of being. You're not flesh and blood. So when I say this is you, I'm not saying it's Leanne, the body with the name. I'm saying it is when Leanne says, hi, I am Leanne. I am is Leanne. I am is being Leanne. I am is that. That's you. I am is you. That's you. So I am when you are not. These are all the things that happen when you're not. When you're I am, these are all the things. When you're being, these are all the things that are. When you're not being, all these things happen. When you clean up your house, their house looks a certain way. When you haven't cleaned up, it looks a certain way. Guess who did or did not? You. Right? This is the only thing that has to change. I am changes is the only solution. It's it. It's just the law of consciousness. I am is my savior. I am not, if you want to be, I am not is the devil. It's the cause of all suffering. It's the cause of all misery. This is hell. Don't you think he was in hell when he was 28 and you about to die and you're shriveled up to bones and you're about to leave your wife and your kids and you've had long and costly medical care? Where are you? You're not in the hospital now. But when they found him perfectly healthy, he was there. He was in heaven. All the gods and all the devils, all the heavens and all the hells are within you. I don't remember what book that was in, but that's the quote. They're all just expressions of yourself, what you're aware of expressing. So when people talk about mindset, you are using, this was mindset. When his mind was I am not, doctors held no hope and he suffered. When his mind was I am, he was perfectly healthy because he faithfully followed the law, which is I am. The law is I am. Whatever I am, that is what it is. That's the law. The law wasn't the doctor. The law wasn't the medicine. The law wasn't church. The law wasn't the mosque. The law wasn't tithing, as far as what people call it. The law wasn't black, man, woman. It wasn't Republican, Democrat. It is just awareness of being. That's the law. And whatever you are aware of being, the law says, here you go. You're justified. Here's the judge. That's it. All right. Questions, comments, anything like that?
I had Cassidy and Gavin here with me this Saturday, and I was putting up a wall in my home, and we were just listening. The kids were sitting here on the couch just listening, and I wanted to make the routine of this type of information normal again for my household, because it's not my job to be everything and do everything and touch every base. I appreciate this community so much, Coach. I appreciate you so much because you make the load a little lighter. And me having to know everything, verbalize everything, like you really, really make the load a whole lot lighter and remind me that, like, it's cool to learn. Learning should be fun. I've been telling everybody who will listen all week long that smart means pain. Smart does not mean. So every time I've heard people say smart this week, I'm just like, man, you're so ignorant. You don't even know what that word. But we make this fun. And so the conversation carrying over in my home, being able to have these types of Saturday call conversations throughout the week with my family, it's a gift. It's really a gift. And I encourage everyone who has people living with them, their children, their families, their spouses, whatever, invite them to the call, because during the week, the best parts during the week is when my children come to me and say, it doesn't matter because I'm God anyway, and I can handle this, and I got that, and I can, change this. And the way they talk their ish is so refreshing and rewarding, because we all understand our purpose here and our abilities while here. So thank you for another bomb session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I'm grateful.
Sure. Gab, I muted first, but Gab said thank you as well.
Thank you all for coming.
For sure.
Wonderful. All right.
I'd like to say thank you as well. I when you said it's not a lack of labor that you don't have what you want, it's a lack of the right tools. Hard work is so ingrained in me. Like nothing happens unless you work really hard. And I've been trying to really reframe that because I know it all starts in the mind, but it that constant reminder of it starts in the mind, and you'll need to work really hard. It's not a lack of labor that you don't have what you want. That was huge for me because yeah, the reframing of that has been really important for me right now. So thank you.
And it's wonderful because, like we read in both stories, and like Sparkle Bailey's comment encapsulated it. It's thinking the end. It's like, okay, what do I want? What do I want? I'm working really hard. Cool. For what? What are you working really hard for? Whatever you think that, whatever you're doing that for, start thinking that. We never really get that because we put all of our thought on the hard work. We actually, so it's like this. It's like this. We have us right here, right? And then we have our desired end. Well, when I am said, let there be light, I am went like this. Humanity says, I want light. Well, now I gotta do this and that and this and that. So then you go from I am, which just goes like that, to humanity, which goes to that. Then we're gonna go to that. Then we're gonna go to that. Oh, there's traffic. Oh, I forgot something. Let me go back. And then, so it gets lost in this paradigm. It gets lost in here. It gets trapped in here. I gotta have this. So you want a new employee. Okay, cool. I now have a new employee and it's the best one I ever had. That's it. But I need a new employee. Okay, well, let me get online. Let me call somebody who I asked, who I know. Let me see if so-and-so, let me get it, write a job. We start doing all of this and we don't even know if any of this was even necessary. But when you go here to the end, you let the end from here, you being the person who now has, is different from the person who doesn't have, who has not. You're thinking different. The person who has not goes through here. The person who has goes through here. And from here, you see the world differently. You make different decisions. So when that's the whole point, right? Is think when Sparkle Bailey said, thinking is the end. Think the end. Think the end, not the middle. Think the end. The middle isn't where you want to be. And we're spending all our time in here. We're caught in traffic. I remember I was taking my daughter somewhere to like this little amusement park. She was probably just like 5 or 6 years old. And we were driving and we got literally a mile away. And I don't know what happened, but it turned into Armageddon. People were out of their cars, traffic, whatever else it was. It took us an hour. It was a mile away and there was an exit before it. It took us an hour to get to that exit. And we went and we drove an hour to get there. Then we were on the freeway for an hour, got off the freeway half a mile away and turned around and came back. Because the next half mile to the real exit would have been another however long. So I did all that work and I still never got there. All the work I did, her and I laugh about it probably once a year. Somehow it comes up. But I did all of that work. And literally, she was like 5. So she's in the back either kicking her feet or sleep. It's not like, she was a teenager like now where we can talk and laugh. And no, I'm just sitting there. I'm not even going to the place for me. So I'm bored out of my mind. And now I'm on the freeway stuck. I'm going through all of this. And even though I started and I'm going through all of this, I never got here. That's why most of us quit. That's why most of us die out. That's because what do? We go through here. So then what happens? So then you start to get tired. Then what do they start doing? Well, you need some discipline. They put that on you. Then you need some willpower, right? They put that on you. Then you just need some this or that. So they keep trying to give you things to fight through. So you end up being Rambo. You get shot, stabbed, you're cold, hungry, tired, because you're going through all of this instead of just saying, let there be. Let there be. Think from here. Think this. This thought here is designed, this is that. So it's designed for you to think this here. Think this here. That's how you do it. You live in the end. He said, I just told him to think about his doctor saying it's a miracle. Why? It was to trigger his feeling of already being well. The doctor saying you're well triggers you to start thinking you're well here. We try to fight through here so that when we're here, we'll think it. But that's the reason we never make it, because we're not thinking this here. We're thinking this. This is what we're thinking. This is where all our attention is, all our time, all our energy, all our effort is in here. And so people, I always say all the time, people aren't quitters. They just quit. They're exhausted. They run out of gas. On that freeway, you stand there, people cut their car off. Why? Because if you don't know when you're leaving, you're going to mess around and run out of gas at some point because you're stuck in the middle, right? And so I did all that work and got to here and still was like, man, it ain't worth it. I'm going home. But so think this. Your initial thought is where you are. Let's just say for you, I want a new employee. Okay, perfect. So whatever that new employee represents to you, this is what it is. This is the employee that you're thinking about it. But you're thinking about it from here. So the goal is now to go and think this way now. Of this thing, think of this thing here. Here. I am now this. This is the thought. This is the matter. This is the physical expression of your thought. So you think about this, and you think about it now. You think about here, there, and you make it here. You think about then, and you make it now. And what does it say? I have ways and means that you know not of. My ways are higher than your ways. So when the people were looking for their apartment and the person came up out of the blue unexpectedly, how do you ever get that? You don't get that in here. You only get that. This triggers that. It's like, oh, I have it. Okay, well then what's the best way? Okay, I'll tell this person to go tell them to, come on through. What does it say? I go before you to set a place that where I am, you may be also. You're in your body, you send your awareness, you send your I amness in to occupy this territory now. I am is here in the end. And now I am in the end says, okay, let me go get my body and bring it back into experience.
Yeah, it's like I could say I want a thriving business, but why do I want the thriving business? Because I want the wealth.
See what I mean?
I don't want the business. I don't want to work harder.
Right.
I want the wealth.
Yes.
But we think it's going to get us to the wealth.
Correct. That's why we get lost and burned out and exhausted, because now we're up in here. And do you know what you got? All these 4 circles. Do you know what this is? Do you know what these represent? Anybody? This right here. What does this represent?
Working, action.
Nope.
Doing.
Nope. Yes, but nope. Where, okay, what it represents. Yes. Where does it represent?
Outside of you.
Yeah, where? It talks about it all the time. You read it all the time in the book and don't even recognize what it is. This is the wilderness. That everybody, what does it say? The wandering around the desert, right? This is the desert. This is the place, this is the place of confusion. Why do you think you quit? This is the place you're just wandering. Does that make sense? This is the desert. This is the wilderness that Israel, children of Israel, the children of the people who should know better are wandering around in here because you're like, oh, and everybody's telling you, well, just work harder. You need some discipline. You need some willpower. Drink some wheatgrass. Do some push-ups. Well, you need to get on here and make 50 more calls. And you need to stay up all night. You're in here. When all you have to do is say, I'm something, I'm now that. And this right here, well, you think this right here is going to go through the wilderness? Anybody? Do you think the you that has what you want is going to go through the wilderness? Do you think the you that knows everything is going to go through the wilderness? So that may let you know, then why would you do that? I am that. You've already skipped the wilderness. You are that. And when you come back to receive yourself, you're going to walk right by the wilderness again. You ain't going to that forest. You're not going to that desert. You don't have to work like that. What does it say? My yoke is easy and my burden is light. I'm not in here wandering around for 40 years in the wilderness, in the desert. You see what I mean? We're wandering because we're working, but we're prioritizing working the wrong way. It doesn't mean the people who are walking, yes, you had to walk out of Egypt. It wasn't like some magic carpet came. It's not saying that you're not moving, but you're moving with a purpose. You're moving with the awareness of being. You're not moving with the awareness of not being. Moving doesn't do anything. It only matters about whether you are or you aren't. When you're moving with the awareness of I am wealthy. I am not out here trying to work hard. I'm not that. I am not that. No, I'm wealthy. I have a marvelous, successful business doing what I love to do. I'm divinely happy and divinely prosperous. It's just light work. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. This is easy work, period. And I'm wealthy. It's why? Why do you have to struggle for what you own? Why do you have to earn what you own? You had some coffee or some tea. Did you put some money on the counter for that? You just took what you already had. It's yours. You already bought it. You already paid the price. Creation is finished. You've already paid the price. Right? This is what you are. I have an idea. I'm right here. Go to the end. Identify yourself. What do you say? Assume the feeling of already being X. It doesn't matter. It's for anything. Assume the feeling, assume the awareness. Tell yourself without being able to see in the physical world, tell yourself inwardly from your inner being, I am X. Wealthy, rich, in a great relationship, have a great business. I am that. And I don't need anything external called proof. Why? Because I'm looking outwardly for what I am. I am the proof if I am the creator. Who else is the proof if it ain't you? If you birthed a child, who is the mother if it ain't you? I'd love to know. Who is it if it's not you? If they did a DNA test, wouldn't it run back to you? Well, you don't think the matter that LaToya was talking about earlier, matter? You know, that's the DNA of thought. Thought, matter is the baby. Thought is the parent. They have the same DNA. Right? So that's the whole thing. Literally, you just tell yourself, I am that. It's assuming the feeling of already being. It means I am making a choice to tell myself that I already am X, whatever that is. In your case, wealthy. I am that. I'm not trying to be that. I'm not trying to make it happen. I'm not going to work for it. I'm not going to earn it. This is not something to chase. This is not something to try to fix. This is just something I am now occupying. I've moved in to whatever X is. I am that. I am one with the wrench. I am that. I'm the plumber. I'm that. I am this end. I'm not the desire of the end. I am the end. I don't want to be wealthy. I am wealthy. I've earned that. That's mine. I've already created that. That's mine. I don't have to earn it, like work for it, chase it, try to make it happen. I just identify myself as it. I assume the feeling of already being. I make a choice of already being that. And so I don't need proof. That's outside. I'm the proof. So if I've already assumed that, it's an internal choice, and therefore nothing on the outside can stop me from what I chose. So nothing can stop me from what I get, because I get what I choose. That's the law. It's a law. What do they say? A law of assumption, awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. But most important, it's a law. I don't like losing $1, so I definitely don't like to lose my life. I definitely don't want to lose my health. I don't want to lose nothing. So I obey the law. Obedience is better than sacrifice. When you're going through here, you are sacrificing because of your disobedience. It means you're separate from obedience. It doesn't mean malicious disobedience, but you're separated from obedience. And obedience is better than sacrifice. Going this way is better than going this way. That's why these calls are so important, because on Tuesday, we're sitting up here thinking about how many people can we call? How long can we stay up? My head is hurting, but I'm just going to power through. Because why? We're trying to get it through here, because we're unwilling to just say, I am that. And because I am that, all the items that reflect me being must be present. They got to be here, because creation's finished. I'm everything, and I'm right here. Everything I have has got to be with me, so that I am that thing. I am wealthy. I have a whether it is in my business or just period. I am that thing. Period. I don't need my business to make me wealthy. You're just using your business as a funnel to express your wealth. But you can use a business. You can use the lottery. You can use an inheritance. You can use, why? It's all the same way to get money, right? So there is no, the business is just a conduit. That is what you're using to say, I'm going to express myself. That's the thing that you're using to give yourself permission to be who you are. You are wealthy. Otherwise, you can never be. And you can never be if you can never desire it. So an idea or your desire is nothing but a reality that you haven't experienced yet. That's all an idea is. It's a reality that you haven't experienced yet, but it is real. It's just something you haven't experienced. An idea is a reality that you haven't, because it creates reality. So it is reality. It's your trigger to get you to choose something that you haven't experienced, but you already are. Because when I say you already are everything, you just only experience what you're choosing. So your ideas are what are getting you to choose an aspect of something that you already are to now make it an experience instead of just a possibility. Instead of just a possibility, meaning it's real, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be sick, but you already are either one in potential, and you are what you are actually once you choose that potential. It's whatever you step into. So long answer to a short question, but I think that's so important because we're out of this call. Where else are you going to hear it? When you close this laptop, where else are you going to go? When you close this laptop, who else is going to tell you? When you close your laptop, the world's going to tell you a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's why you got people shooting each other, killing each other, all kind of medications. Doctors are fat and they putting you on medication. They're all messed up. What do they say? 46% of doctors are overweight, like noticeably, and they telling you how to live. How's that going to work? Right? The whole world is out there doing all kind of craziness because everybody's jockeying for their position like it's some kind of horse races. But what else should you do if you don't know better? What else should you do if nobody's going to tell you? Right? If nobody's going to tell you that you don't have to go through the wilderness, walk around in your right mind, you'd walk around, wouldn't you? You'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to go on right here and stay on this smooth path. I'm not about to wander through for what? That'd be like, oh, but you have to earn it. Why do I have to earn it if the road that's paved is going to the same place that the desert is going? Why would I do that? Would you do that? You wouldn't. So then why would we do that? And then why would we think harder is better? Because humanity has told us that. But your divinity doesn't operate like that. Your true self doesn't operate like that. And the more you identify with your true self by coming to places like this and wherever else they are, go. To whoever's talking this talk, go. Listen. I listen. So this is not the only place, but I'm saying whoever does this, that's who you listen to. That's where you go. That's where you go so that you can keep taking the smooth path and not be wandering around, wasting your time, your money, and your life force. Get to where you going. Why stepping on weeds and bushes when you can walk down the path like a king? A queen wouldn't be walking through there. King wouldn't be walking through there. Let's say Survivor, right? We try to keep it smooth and keep it moving, right? So I know I would talk to everybody, stay too long, but thank you all for staying. I appreciate you all. I just want you to, like I said, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a coach. I just want to help you be whoever you want to be, because I know how much it means to me to be who I want to be. And I know how much it felt amazing to finally get some answers, some help, instead of just wandering around, working hard, killing myself and everything else. Being a good person don't mean nothing. It ain't helping. It's wonderful, but really you'll be a better person. It'll be a byproduct of you being who you are, of you being successful, of you being happy, of you being what you want to be. You'll automatically be a good person. Why would you want to ruin it or need to ruin it if you know you're in control of your reality? You don't need to mistreat anybody, talk about anybody, steal from anybody, cheat anybody, rob anybody. It is a natural byproduct. Being a good person is a natural byproduct of being you. But you don't know who you are, now you got to figure everything out, and now stuff falls apart. You got to cheat. I don't blame you. You got to cheat. You got to steal. You got to rob in certain states of mind. It's the only way you're going to make it. You don't have what it takes to make it this way. So you got to use what you got. I can't blame you for that, right? Everybody's a vegan until you homeless long enough. You get some meat in you after a while. It's not good or bad, but after a while, you got to eat what you have. You got to think what you think. So you got to change your diet. You got to change what you're telling yourself and your thoughts, right? All those things. All this is important. So that's why I rant and rave, because I just want to offer the help that I was looking for. And I offer it as excitedly as I get it and as I got it. And I offer this information as excitedly as I get it and as I got it. Right? So that's why I'm on here sweating every week. Right? Because I want you to have it as much as I wanted to have it. And I want you to know it as much as I know it. And it's never, like Veronica always says, it's never a finish line. This ain't an end. I ain't sitting here like I am today, what I'll be in 10 years, but I am today the best I can be today. That doesn't mean it's going to won't be better. It should be. But today I'm the best I can be. And tomorrow should be better. That's what it is. And if when you're doing that, you'll start to see it'll show up. Your road will get smoother. All the other crazy stuff will fall apart. It won't last because you're being the person who is and not the being person. You'll stop suffering and you'll be living in perfect health. Go from the brink of death to perfect health, right? Whether that's in any area of your life, it's the same thing. Right? All right. Well, happy Saturday, Vanessa. Anything you want to say before we let all the people out of jail?
I'm like, we ran a whole half hour over.
I get
This is what happens when he doesn't have a call or a appointment right after the call. He just keeps going. So thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate you. We do want to remind you that the youth circle is available, and the youth circle is where we have it's a more intimate call. We meet twice a week, and then you also get a one-on-one with Coach Lucky. We meet on Tuesdays, we meet on Fridays, and then you get your one-on-one. So you kind of just keep these calls going, you keep the momentums going. Yeah, there's a couple of us that are on now that are in part of the youth circle, and you really see the difference. The calls are kind of driven by the participants. So if there's anything specific you want to talk about or anything like that, that kind of is what leads the calls. And then I'm going to drop the link in the chat for that. And prices is going up. We're figuring out what day exactly, but take advantage. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can also email us at info@thementalacademy. And we'll take care of you there. Here we go. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate you. We love these calls. As you can see, Coach Lucky is passionate about what he talks about. And so yeah.
All right. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Make every day Saturday, Monday through Saturday, through Sunday. All the day is Saturday. We all win. Victory only, victory always. We're all the way up, right? Think the end. Think from the end. What do you want? What do you want? Think from the end. Stop trying to figure out how you're going to get it. You'll never get it. Think from the end. What do you want? What are you doing all that for, right? That you live in that, and you'll see it already exists. You'll see it open up because now you're the person who can see it. Can't see what you want when you're not who it is, right? It's like getting an account you don't have an ID for. All right. Happy Saturday. Have a great week. I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Coach.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.